In this session, we're going to take a look at the Settings menu and look at every option in there and see what they do. If you simply click Settings, you go to the General Settings page. At the top are the site title and tagline. How these get rendered on the front end is determined by the theme. Sometimes they don't even get rendered on the front end. Here we have the WordPress address, the URL, and the site address. Note, enter the address here if you want your site homepage to be different from the directory you installed WordPress. So if you installed it in one directory, but you want people to actually view in another, you could put in a different address here. Here's the email address of the site administrator, a checkbox to say who can register and who can't, the default role for new users, the time zone for your site, a date format, and a time format, and when the week starts. The link here for documentation on date and time formatting goes to the WordPress Codex. And you can see here what your options are. And that's it for the general page. Next, let's look at writing. For formatting, you can automatically convert emoticons to graphics on display. You can also optionally have WordPress correct invalidly nested XHTML automatically. You would really only get invalidly nested XHTML if you were writing the HTML yourself and you did it wrong, or if you were copying from another website and pasting it into your post, which happens more often than you might think. You can set a default post category and a default post format. Here's Press This again. This is a duplicate spot from where it was in Tools. And then here's an option to post via email. There are some instructions here you must follow to make it work, but once it's set up, you can send an email to a special address and it will automatically post to your blog for you. Then there are update services. Right now, my site is set to not let search engines crawl it. Because of that, WordPress doesn't want to update anyone. But you could set up some services here so that when you posted to your blog, it would automatically let them know that you did that. This can get your content listed on other sites because they know immediately when you post. On to the reading page. Your front page displays your latest posts, or you can say your front page displays a static page. So now, Topher's page is my home page, and the sample page actually prints out my blog and ignores the content that's on the sample page right now. If you really wanted to do this, I would suggest you specifically make a page called Home and one called News, and use those as the front and the posts page. The blog pages show at most 10 posts. This is talking about the archive page, the one that shows a list of posts with maybe an excerpt. Then syndication feeds show the most recent 10 items, so this would be for RSS. And then for each article in a feed, you can show the full text or just a summary. And here's where I've told search engines not to crawl my site. Next is discussion. We went over this in another session, so I won't get too deep here. But there are some default article settings, comment settings. You can set it up to email you on events. You can manage how comments appear, and you can do some moderation. WordPress wants to use Gravatar for avatars for people. Gravatar.com is a service where you can go create an account and associate a little picture with yourself. If you don't have one of those and you are an author on this site, it will use one of these instead. Let's look at our media settings. By default, when you upload a large image, it creates 3 additional sizes: thumbnail, medium, and large. This is where you can determine what the sizes of those images actually are. If you're a developer, you can programmatically create new sizes, but they won't automatically get listed here. And then for uploading, you can choose to organize the uploads into month and year-based folders. This actually makes it a lot easier to find them on the server if you ever need to. Now let's take a look at permalinks. When WordPress first came out years ago, all of the post links looked like this. P equals 123. P stands for post, and that's the ID. This is actually a very fast way to work it, but it's not very friendly. You have no idea what's on that page just from looking at that. So here are some other options that were created: day and name, month and name, numeric, or post name. And you can optionally do a custom structure and do anything you want. Clicking these allows you to see what custom would look like if you did it this way. For a long time, post name really slowed down your site. But several versions ago, they figured out how to fix that, and now postname is just as fast. It's much easier for humans to read, and Google likes it a lot better too, so I strongly recommend you choose postname. In other sessions, we talked about categories and tags, and we pointed out that in the URL, if you go to a category archive, the word category is in front of the name of the category itself, and the same holds true for tags. This is where you could change that and name them something else. You have to have something. You can't remove that slug altogether, but you can name it something more intuitive if needs be.